It is a recession when your neighbor loses his job. It is a depression when you lose yours. This quotation was famously attributed to Harry Truman about losing your job. I would like to rephrase this by saying that it is a recession when your neighbor loses his job. It is a depression when you lose yours, but it is a perfection when you start an enterprise and stop the recession and depression of others. I'm sure all of you must have read Jonathan Livingston Seagull by Richard Bach. In this book, which portrays the journey of a lonely seagull named Jonathan Livingston Seagull, while all other seagulls prefer a normal sedentary life, this book appears to me a classic example of depicting the majority of employees who work for someone, while few entrepreneurs provide employment to all others. Jonathan's main priority is transcending the mundane concerns of life and death. His journey can be considered, in a way, a spiritual journey in pursuit of excellence. Flight represents the entrepreneurial mindset. On the other hand, groveling around the mud and in the mud represents being preoccupied with regular jobs offering material comforts and stability. Jonathan's commitment to attain spiritual heights is quite stark. In giving up the quest for food, Jonathan affirms that life itself does not have any intrinsic value if you spend all your time stuck in the mud. Rather, the only thing that gives life meaning is the pursuit of flight. Jonathan's journey is similar to the human journey. Many people are willing to risk discomfort in order to create a life that has meaning for them and for others. Jonathan's elderly gulls shame him for trying to fly higher. They call the pursuit of flight reckless responsibility and say he will learn there that irresponsibility does not pay. Though his peers and elders consider Jonathan a fool, he continues to relentlessly pursue his own vision of the meaningful life. The advice is given to Jonathan by Chiang, the elderly and wise gull, which goes like this: You will begin to touch heaven, Jonathan, in the moment that you touch perfect speed. And that isn't flying 1,000 miles an hour or a million or flying at the speed of light, because any number is a limit and perfection doesn't have limits. Perfect speed, my son, is being there. I think this sums up the essence of true entrepreneurship. Whether a youth is a democratic dividend or a demographic time bomb depends on the approach adopted by those involved in harnessing the youth potential and policymakers. It is now a well known fact that both Africa and Asia have the youngest population on the planet. The economic growth or stagnation would largely be determined by these youngsters. Financial meltdown resulting from COVID has cast a dark shadow on the global economy. Millions of jobs have been lost. We all know very well what impact the frustration and anger among the youth can cause the nation. All are aware of the genesis of Arab Spring. Lack of jobs or opportunities to start enterprises have the potential of causing socio-political unrest. It is in this context we need to examine how we can spot the potential entrepreneur among the youth population. Obviously, there could be many ways how we can nurture entrepreneurship. One effective way would be to provide training on entrepreneurship coupled with training on honing a business acumen skill. For several reasons, youth, especially those from rural areas, or not so privileged in terms of their background, and they find it tough to join the academic stream. And the percentage of such youth is large. There is urgent need to screen such youth for their entrepreneurship skill and facilitate setting up of enterprises. And while doing so, we need to keep in mind the gender parity as well. Here I must point out that unfortunately, there is no silver bullet, so to speak, to tackle this issue. We need to create an ecosystem that represents the spirit of enterprise and supports the budding entrepreneurs. Starting an enterprise is relatively easy, but to sustain it beyond the second or third quarter is tough. Modern startup history is full of many such graveyards of failed enterprises. Most young people dream of taking a higher education and of a steady formal sector job. The reality, however, is that in many countries, very few will have the opportunity to pursue education beyond secondary school. And most of them will have to create their own jobs to put food on the table. The school system typically leaves them ill prepared for a future as entrepreneurs. A key challenge for training institutions, governments, and the NGOs is how to educate and inspire youth to start a business, thereby giving them an income and, importantly, a purpose in life. And going beyond establishing a business, how to stimulate business growth and job creation, thereby spreading the benefits of entrepreneurship to society at large. Broadly speaking, we can divide entrepreneurs according to their mindset: necessity driven and opportunity driven. A person who sets up a business for the lack of alternative options cannot be expected to have the same drive, same passion for growth as a person who chooses to set up a business with other income generating options available. Willingness to take risk and to compete are and a competing attitude with a fire in the belly that are often associated with an entrepreneurial mindset. There is need to distinguish those who consider setting up enterprises as a last option, as they have not been able to secure a job, and those who consciously pursue opportunities to set up an enterprise. There is a qualitative difference in these two types of entrepreneurs. In our several projects in Africa and Asia, we have focused on identifying individuals who are quick to spot an opportunity and have the mental wherewithal to take the risk to start an enterprise. How then we could identify such an entrepreneurial mind? We have developed tools based on the principles of behavioral economics and psychometric principles that accurately identifies and classifies the individuals in three categories: the champions, the masters, and the rookies. Once we identify them, then the next step is to design customized training for each category that varies in scope, depth, and content. After this, the next stage is to facilitate, and this is an important stage, to facilitate the forward and backward linkages that enables them to embark on the entrepreneurial journey. By no stretch of imagination, the journey is on a highway. On the contrary, it is often on the dusty roads with potholes and misleading detours. But the various non-cognitive abilities about which I will make a mention sees them through with clarity and courage. So what are those non-cognitive abilities that we try to identify in a budding entrepreneur? He or she must have a seamless ability to do networking. Interdependence is critical as one needs to give and receive support. Influencing and convincing ability through good communication, both written and oral, is absolutely necessary. Reflection on our action and taking mid-course correction is important. We call it as metacognition. Failures are an integral part of the entrepreneurial journey, but that should not deter. On the contrary, it should instill a passion to succeed next time. The implication is for achievement motivation. While luck or fate always plays some part in our life journey, they are not the sole arbitrators of where we should march. Abiding faith and confidence in self is an essential attribute. In management jargon, this is called as the locus of control. And finally, perhaps the most critical attribute that we seek in a budding entrepreneur is conscientiousness. The journey to become successful in a business is a long and arduous one. There are no shortcuts. So, what is this conscientiousness? It is a propensity to be organized, being responsible, and hardworking. It includes many subtraits like possessing sterling character, integrity, grit, deliberation over impatient judgment, work ethic, and a high degree of creditworthiness. Of course, there is some degree of risk taking as well, but it is not a foolhardy or an unrealistic risk taking, but a calculated risk that is taken after a thorough analysis of what and where we can go wrong. It is fashionable these days to talk about plan B and plan C. For an entrepreneur, there is no plan B or C. It is one and only one plan that gets crystallized after a proper and thorough analysis and on becoming and on that becoming the be all and end all for all the budding entrepreneurs. So my advice to youngsters is very simple. Between seeking a job and working for someone else throughout your lives, start an enterprise and provide opportunities for working for others. That is true self actualization. And in that process, we can hold your hand and walk along with you till you become confident. Thank you very much.